dumb?
I'm getting smarter just thinking about it. Politics, sports, your mama, whatever. The Smartest Dumb People podcast cover everything. With Anthony that dude Johnson and special guests, you're about to learn everything you need to know about everything you need to know. Man, I even had to buy a new pair of glasses after watching the show. So yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all do it on Facebook, Instagram. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. So stop wasting your time watching other podcasts. It's the only one you need. Y'all know what it is? It's the Smartest Dumb People. Hey, yo, what's up? Have you seen the Smartest Dumb People podcast?
You. Are you dumb?
I'm getting smarter just thinking about it. Politics, sports, your mama, whatever. The Smartest Dumb People podcast cover everything. With Anthony that dude Johnson and special guests, you're about to learn everything you need to know about everything you need.
Yo, what's up? At the hottest podcast in the city, the Smartest Dumb People. I'm here with my nigga, that dude Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We go way back like 4 flats on the Cadillac. Y'all tune in every week or every time. Hit the like button, subscribe, do what you're supposed to do. Like, comment, share, tell your people about it. Y'all know what it is? It's the Smartest Dumb People.
See, man, when you get that type of money, he literally sing with other people. So, like, this was a story.
This is the best podcast in the city.
Thank you.
I'm not pandering.
You know what I'm saying? And they take vocals and, script and they start living on Tupac.
You're a real hustler, huh? That's pretty neat. Into it.
But I also met
Team, they know she likes to go outside, play soccer by herself. We have
Team all the way. It's more than enough female.
right. Make sure I want to change it like Snoop Dogg. He's an icon in all facets of life.
Biggest icon in the world.
But
I feel like they cheat stupid. They gonna get caught. Yeah, they cheat with their dick like we cheat with our mind. I feel like women.
no more. But before I let you explain that, I want to show a little clip, a little
I'm on Pandora, YouTube. I'm on the students and everybody. Carl.
I'm trying to find.
It is what it is. Finally, we went to Rice Camp.
There's 2 cats. No, you can hustle in many ways. There's 2 cats in high school.
This is the coldest fucking thing that's going on. He's the realest niggas out there. You already know. Like, for real. Like, this.
God, I go off the mentality of the woman. And I know if I know my woman.
What, Dummy?
Let's go! Welcome. This is the Smartest Dumb People, and I'm the host, Anthony, that dude Johnson. And always, it's gonna be somebody at the table with me. Today we got Quando Rondo in the building and a special guest, my guy Brian Williams. He is an author. He's an ex-football player. He's a great guy. And I wanted him on the show because we wanted to talk about his books. He got a couple books out. Before we even get started, we haven't had a show in about 2 weeks now. Life is lifing. Things is happening outside of the podcast. Me and Leland ain't really had a chance to really dive in like we want to because he got promoted. Shout out to my guy LV. He got promoted. His hours changed. I'm telling you, this is part of being an entrepreneur and still having to work for somebody. Like as we take off in this venture with the podcast, we still got to go to work every day. So if the motherfucker tell us our hours are 7 to 11, we got to work around that. And then I got to hope that his schedule matches my schedule so we can work around that. So it just becomes an issue. But look, this is the Smartest Dumb People. We back. Today is Freestyle Friday. It's March. Where we in? May 2nd?
It's May
Okay,
2nd.
it's May 2nd. So how y'all week been? How y'all week been? Fucking the year is flying by.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
it is. That my week actually it's been normal. It's been normal, hectic as hell, everything like that. Going to school, working, everything like that. I'm just real grateful that I was able to get a job and everything like that. So it's helping me to do other things and stuff like that. I'm gonna eventually get back to writing and everything like that. But yeah, that's
you said something to me that was pretty dope today because we got to discuss this too. We was talking about how old people, they got all the time in the world. So I was in the store today and these 2 old ladies, I'll never disrespect the elders, never, but they were taking forever, like just acting like it wasn't a fucking line of people behind them. And I said, damn, I remember when I used to be able to be in that mode of just time didn't matter. But I think the older you get, time slows down. But for the new generation, guys like us, it ain't enough time. It ain't enough time in the day. And he said something that was kind of dope. What'd you say about your grandpa said?
Oh, my dad. My dad used to say that he would come home from work and sit down in the bed and everything like that. And he'd be like, there ain't enough time in the day.
I agree.
Right. Yep.
That's how I feel now because, like I said, I get off work. I work 2 jobs, about to be a third, starting in a week. So I'll have 3 jobs plus the podcast. Cool. There ain't enough time in the day for me at times. Like I try to sneak in a quick little power nap before the show. I had to make sure everything was up and running. It's not enough time in the day. You're 100% right. How was your week, Quando?
Same old shit, just a different day.
Just get money. That's all you do. Just get money.
Oh man,
have a good time. I seen your pops the other day at the DMV because the Hands of Heartland is connected to the DMV. I didn't get to speak to him, but I seen your pops the other day. He was in the DMV.
Oh yeah,
looking just like you.
He keep registering a new car.
That's probably what he was doing. So let's get to the show, man. It's Freestyle Friday. We used to do Tapping Tuesday. Okay. So Tapping Tuesday is no longer a thing because it's just, like I said, there ain't enough hours in the day. I work 2 jobs. LV work all day long. So we got some topics. Let's get to the topics. The first topic is Shedeur Sanders. No, I'm sorry. I haven't did an interview in a long time.
All right.
Normally just have homeboys up here and fuck off. So let's talk about you. We got to talk about you, man. So give us a little backdrop of who you are as a person and what you do.
All right. My name actually technically is Bijan Brian Sebastian Anthony Barnabas Williams. That is my name. Luckily, when we first came to the United States, our biggest thing was they said to me that Bijan was too hard for Americans to say. So they wanted to go with something that was a little normal and things like that, which is Brian, which is another one of my middle names. And so I've been stuck with Brian all this time.
Wow.
And
where you from?
Originally from Kingston, Jamaica. Been here since I was 11 years old, and I'm old as all get out. So I've been here. I've been an American a lot longer than I ever was a Jamaican.
Okay.
And, just doing all that and everything, we've got the writing. I'm going to be a doctor here in a couple of months. I've got all this crap going on.
Tell us about your small football career that you had. It started with.
Yeah. To be honest, all right, I'm going to give you the story of how I got started. All right. I originally got a full ride scholarship to Oklahoma State as a wrestler.
Wow.
And from being a wrestler, I was in the gym working out. And Bob Simmons, who was the head coach at the time, seen me working out, and he came up and he said, "You need to come out for football."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't know if I can do that." So then I went and talked to John Smith, who was my head coach at that time, and I got stuck with him, and he said, "You know what? If you tell me that you're not going to let your grades fall or nothing like that, then you can go ahead and go out." Now, I just went out just to play, just to mess around, whatever like that. Yeah. Because, let's be honest. Oklahoma State at the time sucked. It was horrible. But I ended up being real good friends with Bob Simmons Jr., which was the head coach's son, who was also our quarterback.
Wow.
And so we ended up being real good friends and, going out to eat, everything like that. And then I came up to doing, right when I was getting ready to graduate, I didn't know where I was going. I wanted to try to go to medical school, everything like that. Coach Simmons decided to put me and his son in the draft. Now, neither one of us got drafted, but I got a phone call, and it was Lovey, because at the time, Lovey was just the defensive coordinator. He wasn't the head coach at that time. And he's like, "We want you to come out here. We want to take a look at you, come out to this combine," whatever like that. I went out there, did my thing, did the best I could at least, and Lovey was like, "I see something in you," and they gave me a chance. And right on the 3rd year that I was with them for 3 years.
Wow,
right on the 3rd year, right before that, when we were getting ready to do a preseason game, go out there, do that. Probably, I think it was the 3rd. We were playing the New England Patriots, and their guard I was just embarrassing the hell out of him.
Wow.
I was having a great game. I'm not gonna lie, I was having a great game. He decided he was gonna chop block me, completely destroyed my knee.
Wow.
I mean, literally, I looked down and I seen the bottom of my foot. That's how bad it was.
Damn.
And so he eventually got kicked out of the league for doing that. But it was good. And so that
ended your career.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that ended everything.
That's when you started doing the book thing.
Well, actually, I started the book when I was engaged to this girl. We had just bought a house, everything like that. She had been up there in Chicago with me and all that stuff like that. We had a baby together. I was like, okay. Then she decided that I wasn't making enough money for her.
Wow.
And she wanted to leave. Well, she decided she was going to go catting around for a little minute and things like that. So we had just, in fact, I had just got down on one knee, everything like that. Told her I was gonna rededicate myself to trying to get things right for her and for our family, everything like that. And she said yes. So I was like, okay, so now I need to go my ass out here to work. Came home one day and she looked at me and she goes, I don't think this is gonna work out. And she took off. And instead of wilding out like I wanted to, I started writing. That's where
so it was
Baby
therapeutic
Daddy
for
came
you.
Yeah, therapeutic. Yeah,
that's where Baby Daddy came from. Because I knew she had somebody else. I knew everything was going on, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, but I needed to understand it. So I just wrote. And that's the whole thing. And then I didn't even think about getting published or nothing like that. The woman I did end up marrying, she's the one who pushed me to get published. And that's when I won Best New Unsigned Author and everything like that.
Wow.
And I signed with Vantage and everything.
That's dope, man.
Blessings come out of different stories.
Situations.
Oh, yeah.
So do you ever plan on getting back to writing, or are you done?
Oh, no, I'm not done. I still write every now and then. I just haven't put anything together yet. Because I'm concentrating on school, and I ain't gonna lie, I love my job. I seriously, if you ever come to the point where you get a job and you don't care how much you're getting paid, you actually look forward to being there.
Yeah.
Why you love your job?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's because I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm actually making a change, helping people out, things like that, which is what I've always wanted to do. So.
He works with me, by the way. And I can agree with you. It felt good. This is the first mail I got as staff, and now I'm really having a good time because I got somebody that I ain't got to talk like popcorn talk with the women anymore. I can actually talk to somebody that knows sports, talk to somebody that knows Black history.
Right.
It's a little bit funner now. I work with him there.
How did y'all two? Did you just link up through work?
That was the whole thing. I got hired on, and I came in, and man, I ain't gonna lie. The first time I seen him, dude, it was just perfect. It was.
Yeah.
Came in, started talking. Was like, oh, this dude's gonna be my boss. That's just cool. I ain't mad.
Yeah, I met him, man. That was the worst day of my life. Totally opposite.
Ain't look back. All right, let's get to the show, man. Topic time. Because we got a lot to digest and a lot of stuff been going on. First topic, Shedeur Sanders. This shit is wild. What happened to him? I want to play a clip of Gilly talking about you still a nigga. And this is what we seen was somebody scrutinized because he's cocky. Why is it when it comes to a Black man being confident, he's cocky? It can't just be. I get called cocky all the time when I tell people like I know my work. And it took a lot of getting here mentally to know my worth.
Oh, yeah.
At one point in time, I didn't know my worth. I didn't know what I was capable of. But being around the right people, like I was telling you, I got around a couple of millionaires. I had a good relationship going on at the time. And I started to learn my worth by how I felt treated by others. Which it shouldn't be that way, but that's how I grew into understanding my worth. Let's watch the clip about Gilly talking about how you still a nigga. We'll be right back with y'all.
To all my folks out there, right? I just want y'all to know that when you're a Black man in America, right, sometimes you get reminders. You know what I mean? As a successful Black man in America, I often get reminders. And in the Shador Sanders situation, this is just a reminder that you can do everything right in life. You can come from a good family. You could be a good student. You could be a God-fearing kid. You could be a hard worker. You could beat the odds. Your dad could be a Hall of Fame player, and you can beat the odds because not too many Hall of Fame players have good kids. So you can beat the odds. You can beat, he ain't his daddy. You can beat all of that growing up. But you still get a reminder that you just a nigga, man. That's it. You just a nigga. We sitting here looking at a public execution going on right in front of our eyes. Where it's like, we just gotta remind you that you just a nigga. There's no other way to look at it. There's a lot of black analysts on TV, but they gotta keep it corporate. They can't say what it is. They gotta keep it corporate. I just think this is unbelievable. It's just, no, sometimes as a black man in America, you get reminded that you just a nigga. Don't matter how much work you put in, don't matter. None of that don't matter. You gotta understand. I arrived at a hotel in Boston, right?
We don't need to hear his story, but he was saying how he couldn't get a suite, and there was nothing but suites available. But she didn't understand that he basically said they treat him like a nigga. But I want to say this before we even start this conversation. It's also when we sit and watch a public execution the way we did, what are we doing to change the circumstances? For example, I'm talking about black people and black culture in a whole. All right, Shador didn't get drafted. We're not watching the NFL this year. We're not buying no jerseys. We don't know how to come together. We can sit and watch somebody be hung right in our face, but we so scared of massa that we don't even want to take the time to say, I'm not fucking with the NFL. They proved to us how much and how important we are to them by how they treated Shador. So we need to do the same thing. Oh, I ain't fucking with the NFL. I don't want to. I'm gonna boycott the NFL the whole year.
That'd be tough though.
It'd be tough, but in order for change to happen,
Right.
you got to be uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
So you saying it's tough is this is gonna make you uncomfortable to not watch the NFL. But don't turn the TV to channel 7, channel 3, or channel 42. Channel 10 on Sundays. Don't
boycott.
Prove to them that we just watched a hanging right in our face.
Yeah, that would hit them in the pockets.
You know what dumb motherfuckers gonna do? Go buy his jersey because they think that's supporting him. That ain't supporting him. That's putting money in their pocket.
Actually, if you order it through his website, that's money that goes directly into his pocket.
But you can't see the NFL logo. You can't.
No, you can't. He won't have any NFL logos or nothing like that. But he's got it set up where you can go and purchase jerseys with his name on it, everything like that, from his website, and it will all go to him.
For some odd reason, as deep thinking as you went, it's still going to massa.
In all truth and actuality, yes.
UPS is the ones that got to ship it. They're going to make money off of that shirt.
Yeah.
Again, we know the economy is ran by massa. So we got to just sit our ass out. Not buy jerseys, none of that shit, and just sit this one out.
Yeah.
And you said it because your ass ain't stop watching football. Because you're not ready for that type of warfare.
It'll be tough though. You know what I'm saying? But
you don't even want to talk about. He don't even want to talk about.
Now watching football is crazy.
That's crazy work.
It's hard, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Since I stopped playing, I haven't really watched it. I haven't really watched it. At first, I was watching college football, stuff like that, just because that was a connection between me and my dad. I've always been a wrestler.
Yeah.
That was a connection between me and my dad. But after the NIL and everything like that, it's just like the pros. It's just like pros junior league. That's all it is. Now you got cats who say, well, I'm not going to come to your school because you're not paying enough money. and everything like
Yeah,
that.
it's business now. It's business.
Yeah.
Somebody just said, in the shout out to Taxi Smith. He just said in the chat, he said he can go back to college and make more money.
Mhm.
This is true, but once you declare for the draft, I don't think you can.
If you have an
No.
agent, you have to keep it moving. But if you don't get an agent,
He was going to make $10 million at Colorado.
yeah, he was making, and money is not his issue
The
though.
problem-
You know what I'm saying? Money
Yeah.
ain't his issue. He come from money and he got money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He come from money and he
I
got
mean,
money. You got
come
them
on,
right.
how many college seniors driving around in a Rolls Royce with the ice out watches?
Do you
on
do
and
that
stuff
again
like
though? Do you put yourself through that again though? Yeah, okay, you go
can't- no,
back
you
to
can't.
college.
His daddy
And-
is prime.
Yeah, but and that's another factor that they hate. They always hate on Prime. So
Prime is that nigga.
So that's
always have been.
and it ain't just Shador and his confidence in himself. It's his dad they hate on too. So it's a double-edged sword right there.
I think one of the things I did notice was that there was this meme or whatever like that was out where it showed what's his name, used to be the quarterback for Denver, him and his brothers and all them.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, his dad.
Yeah, did the
And
same shit.
they talking about, well, when he did it,
Yeah,
when he started asking, he started telling and saying he wasn't going to let his boys go.
he wasn't
It
going
was
there.
considered him doing something right.
Right.
But when Prime did it, it was him being arrogant.
Well, it's no different than white man can't jump. Sorry to cut you off. It's
No.
different. It's no different than white man can't jump. See, remember when the white dude said, see, black people would rather look good first,
Yep.
win second. White people would rather win 1st,
Mhm.
look good second. So in this example, when you speak on people like Arch Manning
Yeah.
and the Manning brothers, they weren't walking around with iced out chains and driving Rolls
So regardless
Royces.
of that,
Right.
though,
Humbly.
regardless of that, if he
You have to put that in the
I'm
equation
saying,
because
but
that's
if
why
It has to be in the
it
equation.
has to.
It has
regardless, I'm
They were
saying
riding
so
around in Subarus and
if
shit
he
like that.
if he didn't do any of that, they wouldn't have blackballed him. You saying?
I think
No. I'll be honest with you. I was watching who was it? Ocho Cinco was talking about it. And he was talking they haven't liked Prime since he showed up at draft day
Yeah,
all dressed up and everything
Yeah,
like that.
this is a fact.
Signed his name and then took off. They haven't liked that at all. That's the whole thing. They always gonna hate him. The fact is that the accomplishments that Prime has had from playing football and
a coach
Yeah.
and being a good father on top of
Yeah.
that.
that's
This
what
is
I'm
a
saying.
super
Right.
nigga.
Dude, he is one of the best coaches
He's a
ever.
super nigga.
And
He's
everybody-
the first coach that has had his entire fucking team with a 3.0 grade point average in
He's a super-
college.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta come up with a new term for Prime right now. He's a super nigga. They ain't seen nobody like this. They ain't seen a motherfucker that was athletic, that was the best in his sport, cocky, arrogant, flamboyant, good dad.
Hell yeah.
They ain't seen nothing like this. Good coach,
That's
a
the whole
motivation speaker.
So they
like,
try to find a way to break
Yeah.
it down.
thing. Yeah,
Hey,
that's what they're doing.
And
They're
they-
looking
and they
for
don't know.
something.
It definitely hurt Prime.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's hurting Prime more than it's hurting Shador, for sure. Now, he got to stay strong because that's what black men do.
Yeah.
And he's not going to show no signs of weakness. But I guarantee you, him watching his son not get drafted high definitely crushed his spirits. He'll never let Shador or
You
nobody
can
know.
see it.
Yeah.
You can
But
see
and
it
the
when you're
thing
watching
is,
him on that
and the
game.
thing is, the motherfucking Shador, everybody, all his receivers got drafted before him, and he throwing the ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that make?
Dude,
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm a bad quarterback, but everybody that I throw the ball to is drafted before me.
Yeah. Well, look at that one quarterback that just garbage. He went before him. He went like the second or third
A
round.
lot of garbage quarterbacks went
Yes.
before him. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
And hold on, and I got a bone to pick too because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and we needed a fucking quarterback, and we got a black fucking coach, and I just knew
They was going to draft
we
him.
was about to draft this nigga at 21.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna be
said,
honest.
ain't no motherfucking way we didn't
Yeah.
get this nigga, and we got a.
There's so much
I
shit.
But
agree.
guess what? And that boils down to, hey, the nigga word his say so don't even trump his word ain't
Well,
shit
no,
either.
he just got a job. He just working.
That's all it is.
Pretty much.
A coach ain't nothing but a job. That's just like a supervisor.
And the motherfucking GM, the motherfucker Omar Khan he's the motherfucker that runs
Is he
picks
black?
and shit. He mixed. His name is Omar Khan, so he got to be something else. But he kind of look black though.
Yeah.
He real light.
I ain't gonna go too much off of motherfucking complexion.
But I'm just saying he looked black. I don't know his. I'm just saying I don't know his ethnicity.
Let's get to another topic, man. We stuck on this topic way too long.
But anyway,
that's because it's good talking.
It's good. It's a good topic. I want to speak on. So a young lady beat her grandma up. They said that she had this fixation when watching Bad Girls Club, and she turned on the camera and made a TikTok video. Is one of y'all phones talking?
No, it's
not
earpiece.
Okay. So basically, your earpiece is talking through us.
Yes.
Let's go. You just press volume down. Like the volume, yeah, because that should be.
Omar Khan, so he got to be something else.
No, you can just turn your volume. See, mine on, but my volume down. So basically, they said this young lady, she had a fixation with Bad Girls Club, and she decided to turn the camera on and beat her grandma up on camera. This is the actual clip, and I gotta warn y'all that this is very disturbing. But this is the actual clip. We'll be right back with y'all.
That's great.
Go leave my stuff. Leave my stuff alone. The fuck off me. Get my stuff. Get my shit. Fuck off me.
What you say it's something to do with the Bad Girls Club?
You ain't gonna get it.
About the Bad Girls Club. I ain't gonna lie to you about that.
The Bad Girls Club is basically. Let's turn it back to the camera. Oh, so the Bad Girls Club is basically like Love and Hip Hop. So I learned this years ago. I used to love and Hip Hop. And I said to myself, why the fuck these people keep running into each other at like Applebee's on a show, fighting in Applebee's?
They set it up.
They were setting it up. Yep. And then I realized that this was a way of training, same way we was talking about like the phones are training people to do certain shit.
Yep.
They're training us to think black people are these violent, aggressive people. That's why a lot of people in society, like I'm getting the repercussions of shit NBA YoungBoy is doing, or the baby, or I become just a typical black guy, so they automatically think I'm this violent person, I'm a gang member, and all these things because that's what they push in society on TV. So I stopped watching stuff like Love and Hip Hop because I was like, all I'm watching this for is to see people fight. Then I go to work and be like, bitch, stop. Then you become that person on accident.
Yeah.
So they
know how to push the agenda on TV.
Of course.
They push the fight agenda on black. They push the gay agenda on black. They push a lot of shit in your face to push it just to show you this is a lifestyle that's what you should live, and it's not.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's not normal. And we grew up in this, like, we shunned upon that shit. It's like,
let's watch the clip one more time. Young lady fights her grandma on camera because they said that she had a fixation with Bad Girls Club. Let's watch the clip. We'll be right back with y'all.
Go leave my stuff.
They push that in our face.
She African. Yeah, that's what.
Fuck off me. Get my stuff. Get my shit.
That's her grandmother.
Fuck off me.
Guys, man, there's so much crap.
Fucking touch me. Get all the stuff.
Eric,
you ain't gonna get it.
They're not showing good black folks. They're not trying to show good black folks.
Yeah, no.
So that's the clip, man. And I'm gonna be the first to tell you, they pushing the agenda on our kids. They're making our kids more violent.
Yep.
To hit your grandma is crazy work.
Right.
Crazy work. And I think that I miss going back to, I feel like we should go back to the old days to where not necessarily put your hands on your child because that was trauma too, but you got to learn how to
they need
teach your
their
kids.
ass whooped. They need their ass whooped.
No.
You ain't lying. You are not lying.
You got to teach your kids. You got to teach your kids respect. Spankings taught a lot of shit. It taught respect. It taught you can't do nothing with me. But it's also trauma. I'm a mental health advocate.
See, the problem is with that, and you know what I'm going into and everything like that. The problem with that is that you get a lot of parents who don't know when. And so you need to be able to show them the punishment, explain to them why it was happening, and everything like that. Fact is that yeah, I might have stole a cookie, and I might have thought I got away with it until like 10 o'clock that night, and Dad came in there with the belt and whooped the hell out of me.
We
But
knew when we
I
needed
don't
our
really
ass whooped growing up. We knew when you deserve an ass whooping.
But
yeah.
like I said, as a mental health advocate, I
Yeah.
cannot say kids should be beat on or whooped, but there should be consequences for your actions. That
I'll
could
be honest.
That could be taking your cell phone.
Ass whooping. All that shit is not working. As you can see,
No,
this
it's
shit
not-
is not working.
That's the problem. It's not working.
It's
But
not
I'm not
working.
gonna lie to you either, because I grew up. I'm a little older than everybody here. I grew up where ass whooping was a day-to-day thing, and you know, with being from Jamaica and having my mother who's from Mississippi. Oh no, there was some slave beatings in that house. I swear. But I also am smart enough to know that I deserved every one of them. That I needed to do something better to be better.
This is the therapist talking. This is a future therapist talking right here.
Yeah, but that's one of the things though. The fact is that you have to, because even though my dad old school, now I'm not going to talk to you about anything. You need to learn to talk to your kids to make them understand. I had this this thing that I was yelling at my son. Well, I wasn't really yelling at him, but I was talking to him, and he was trying to tell me like that meme where he says, "Well, when I'm playing, I can't pause the game or whatever like that." And I said, "You know what I'll do is I can take that game and I can put it in the garbage because that's still $600 that came out of our house. But you need to understand where this ends. We are not your servants. We are not the ones who are supposed to be doing everything for you. Yeah, you may not have asked to be here, but in all truth and actuality, none of us did."
I will say this. I have two very respectful children. Two. And I never put my hands on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son to come in here, shake everybody's hand, look you in the eye. I taught him how to be a man. And I taught him how to respect his elders. I taught him but I'm saying, like, I'm saying it's possible. Though. Yeah, you don't got to whoop their ass. I got two.
No.
All right, but he might have been on the straight and narrow and not need his ass whipped.
Yeah.
That's not how it worked. He did bad shit. My son was bad.
Daughter, I whooped her once, and I looked at it and I said, I can't do that no more. It was too much. And then when my son, that's when I first got diagnosed with MS when he was little. And MS, it destroys parts of your brain, like that little part that if I get mad, then I can bring myself out of it. I can't do that anymore. So I looked at him. I said, I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm not going to hurt you or anything like that. I came up with all kinds of things. I used to have him stand on the wall like I did when I was wrestling. Yeah. I used to have to stand on the wall, and I had to hold a cup, and I couldn't let it get below a certain line. And that was the whole thing. There really ain't no punishment if he lets it drop or anything like that. But it was the mental thing of letting
you
him know.
You were training him mentally.
Yes, that was the whole thing.
That's the best way to do it. If you're going to go about, like, there got to be consequences for your actions. For example, if your kid gets suspended from school, okay, now you got to clean the whole house. Mm-hmm. You know, like, the consequence is always going to be the line that's in the sand that if I do this, this is what's on the other side of that. Right. So it doesn't have to be a whooping. It could be.
Then what if they say, I ain't cleaning this motherfucker out.
I ain't scared to go to jail. Take me to jail. I'll suck a nigga in the ass. That's what they want. If that's the case, lock me in, put me in jail, throw away the keys. That movie is.
Do you still
Don't be a menace. Yeah, don't be a menace. But I'm saying that if some motherfuckers is just like Leela said, some people are just known, violent, aggressive, angry people. But like you said, the straight and narrow kids, the kids that's walking that line of being bad, when they have those consequences, they gonna think, I don't want to have to clean this whole fucking house. Hell no, I ain't getting suspended from school. Yes, ma'am, I'll do that paper. So I just feel like there should be consequences behind anything.
I think as us parents nowadays, everything is too lenient. We solve as parents.
The main problem is
we solve as parents
because you don't have to whoop them. You know, granted, it should be a final stretch. You can whoop them, but that's the last thing.
That's the last resort.
Yeah, that's the last resort. But everything else, everything's like I've seen parents well, I got to be out working all day long, and I need him to have his phone so he can call me if something happened. So now, okay, you can't use the phone from between these hours. No, you can't use the phone. That's the whole thing. That's what you have to show them.
But
One,
then
yeah,
then they're gonna be so good and give you the puppy dog eyes 2 days later, and then you're gonna say, "You're right, son. There you go."
I've waited for my son since I was 16. I knew I wanted to be married and I wanted to have a son. I knew those things. God blessed me with 2. And it was so hard. Every time I look at my boy, it's so hard to say. But I also realized, too, as my job as a father is to teach him to be this way for he can survive when I'm gone.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Well, that's teaching them how to be a man.
Yes.
Like, it's no different than when they say, when they use the term, you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You gotta teach them like tools in life. Like teach them how to fish.
I don't know if y'all ran across it, but I did run across a little. It was like a 2-thing list on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's like teach your kid your son's this.
Yeah.
It was dope shit that it was listed on there. I was like, damn, you is not lying about. Hey, it's like
teaching them about credit and everything like that. Doing everything, because the problem is that older generations, they felt like the government really cared about them. Well, now we know that the government really don't give a shit about us. So we have to teach our kids a certain
My son just made the and I'm proud of my son. Everybody's seen the video. I'm proud of my son. He got his own apartment.
Yeah.
And then when he told me what his rent was, I swear I wanted to shake him so bad. His house is nice. His house is beautiful. I'm going over there tomorrow. But he also pays $1,400 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
That's way
you get a house for that.
Good. You could have, and with you're 23 years old. You got a beautiful woman. Y'all could have went and got a house for that. I'm talking about. This is our house we're buying.
Yeah.
And but again, these are things I'm not good financially. So like I'm not the fucking financial.
He might have didn't know. He might have not even thought about that deep.
He doesn't. But when he told me, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah. You know, when I registered, it didn't register at first. So I got home and I was just sitting there like, "This motherfucker paid $1,400 for a 1-bedroom." But don't get me wrong, it's brand new apartments and it makes sense. Yeah. Like the aesthetics of it, the look of the apartment, how nice it is. But I still all I can think about is you only make this amount of money. Yeah. How are you going to survive? Same way with like I try to tell people this. Like, and this also is just the economy. My son has almost a $600 car note, but he has to pay $400 for car insurance. That's not fucking fair.
No,
it's not fair. He's never been in a car accident, so he got to pay $1,000 just to get to work.
Hey.
$1,000 because these are real things that's happening.
That financial shit that we ain't learned. Hey, you gotta get. People don't like riding in buckets. You don't need a bucket. You don't have to have a great car. Just don't have a car payment. And then guess what you got? Just the fucking insurance. It's lessons to be learned. You bump your head, but guess what? He'll learn it. He bumped his head.
You're right.
I like what Taxi is saying.
What he said?
Saying all my kids got one ass whooping each, and that's all it took. Sometimes you gotta go there.
Yeah.
As much as you don't want to, I know for a fact that I can't let myself get to that point. But Taxi actually puts it in a way different realm.
They need to know that you're capable of putting your hands on. Like, I'll say that. Yes. With my kids, me and my ex-wife, we played good cop, bad cop. Mm-hmm. My ex-wife, 90% of the time, was the mean one. I was always a sweet person.
Right.
Like, she'd come in there, I'm gonna fuck him up with it. No, you ain't gotta fuck him up. Like, can we just talk about this for a second? Let's talk about the good and the bad parts. They mom was very stern, and I was always.
You were still the bad guy.
I'm always the bad guy. You're
still the bad guy.
That's one thing why I'm such an advocate for actual families being together, especially black folks. With black kids, we can't do this whole mother raise them. Let's look at what happened when we let the mothers raise our kids.
You know what's crazy is I got in a full-blown argument with my sister yesterday, and I was telling her, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I don't give a fuck. I was telling her, like, her son ain't been in his dad's life for 10 years, and I'm like you expect your son to be this admirable dude in society. He's going to be more feminine than he's going to be more masculine because he's being raised by you.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not saying anything to disparage the sisters that are doing it on their own, because there's some no good motherfucking brothers out there. There's some no good brothers out there. But the fact is that there's a lot of women who are taking and using these kids as a point of revenge.
A tool. Hell yeah.
Revenge. Let me hurt the father by keeping him away. You're not hurting the father like you think you're hurting him. Yeah, you know what? He gonna sit there. He gonna drink. He might shed a few tears or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, who you're hurting is that child.
And my nephew, he's an amazing kid. So me and my sister got this heated argument.
Yeah.
But I was trying to explain to her it takes two. There's a yin and a yang. Whether society want to accept it or not, we got to stop turning men versus women, women versus men.
Yes.
Like, we're here for a purpose, male and female. Matter of fact, this is a good segue to our next topic. Let's listen to the clip. He was talking about how men are just using women for sex and not using them for what real qualities they have. Let's watch the clip. We'll be right back with y'all.
Heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what.
So I had to pause. Shout out to LV the Great in the chat. LV the Great. He's supposed to be here, but my guy had to work, man. Schedules ain't in line, but that's my guy. He is my co-host permanently. When he can make it, he can make it, and when he can't, he can't. So let's get back to this topic. Let's talk about
heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife, right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. Yeah. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner. Yeah, she can fuck us good, but if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen with your family? And so I just encourage men to be, I'm not going to say more because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing in between.
Check this out. All right, so I feel like it's only right I go first. And my point is, I learned in my last relationship how valuable a woman is. And what I mean by that is, she just knew shit that I didn't care for. But when you put us together, magic was happening. And I ain't talking about sex. I'm talking about actual growth. And I also seen this quote by a guy saying that when a man finds the right woman, she becomes his purpose.
Yes.
And women treat men like devices or toys. They'll put them aside when they're done. Like how you said, the girl said she's done and she just was done. Men, when we love a woman the right way, or a woman loves us the right way, kind of like with you and Gina. Like, no other woman could tame you, but Gina somehow found a way to. Out of all the motherfuckers in the world that was on this man, he got married to this one specific woman because she was the yin to his yang. And this is what I'm learning. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. Shout out to Gina. That's the whole thing. I mean, honestly, shout out to her.
But even like, all right, so I'm glad she's in the chat, Robin. So I got at my workshop, I got Robin and Tony. They bring something from just a feminine standpoint. Yep. We got to get back to not gender roles specifically. We got to get back to understanding the purpose of man and woman, because we're losing that. And women are trying to be men are trying to be women. Like Kendrick Lamar said. He said, "You on your period, he on his period too." Like, no, we got to get back to being men and take pride in being men. The same way women got to get back to being women and nurturers and take pride in being women and nurturers.
I'm gonna be honest, bro.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with this one. The fact is that, and this is not taking anybody's side on it or anything like that, but women have been so. That's one of the things that the Bible said, that the woman will desire to be the man. And that is what they focus on. What they don't understand. Let's be honest, all right? So you're going to look at it like this. You got a brother that's got to be working 40, 50 hours a week to bring home money to buy food, everything like that. Right. Or you got a woman who just got to clean the house. Who do you think is actually on top at that point in time? Because she's got the brother out there working to make sure that everything that she needs is taken care of. Women don't look at it like that. They want the title. They want everything like that. Now, the problem is that once you start trying to step into the masculine, you forget the feminine. And that's what men need. Men want. That's the whole reason why we survived slavery. You all day long get beat on the whips and everything like that. You come home and your woman said, "Baby, I got you. Let me take care of you." You're going to be able to go to work the next day and take them beating some more.
I'm not taking anything away from somebody that looks good or somebody that's attractive, but I learned, and like I said, in the last 6 or 7 years, I learned that attraction ain't everything. Like, it's not. Like, what's more important to me is how you treat me as a person. Yeah. And I'm talking about, like, do you care? And like, I can't speak specifically, but I'm speaking on, I went from a situation where I felt like I did more than I had to do. And then when I got in a situation where I had help, it was just different. Right. I can't explain it like you. Like, I've heard conversations between you and your girl. And it's almost like she takes this role as your mom was to you. Not saying she is your mom, but she takes this role that, like, you call your mom for advice. Your woman should be the first person, your mate should be the first person you call for advice. The first person, damn, my car just broke down. I'm about to call a roadside. You calling her before you calling roadside assistance. Oh, yeah. That's a yin and yang. You need each other to coexist. The problem is that when you're right about a lot of women, not all women, because I ran into some women that will treat you like gold. I ran into a bunch of weirdos too. But you gotta find a yin to your yang. That's the only way to be successful in a relationship. And like I said, I think you have it with your wife, because I've seen this man. I've seen how many women this man has or had. And had.
He said, man, you make sure you put some name on that.
And for her to get a ring on her finger, I knew she was the one. I was like, hey, you tame this nigga like this, and he come home every night. That's a time to be had. Let's see what everybody's saying. Love you too, Robin. She said, love you, friend. Jessica said, you effing with a ninja that's
cuter than you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
the quote. We need women just as much as they need us, but we all have to swallow our pride and learn our roles. Yes. Now, this is another thing that's triggered to people, and women specifically, because men ain't triggered by this, gender roles. No. Women are triggered by it because they now have to work. Let me tell you something. In this economy, my motherfucking teenagers got to work in my home. So it's not that we're asking you to go out and bring home the bacon, but you got to have some type of bacon to bring home. You can work a part-time job, but everybody got to work in my home if you're of age, because with this economy, I can't afford to buy you Roblox. I can't afford to buy you PlayStation Plus. You have to do that yourself. I'm making sure these fucking lights stay on and there's food on the table.
It took me 2 years to save up enough money to buy my son a PlayStation 5. And that's only because he was so good. He was doing so good in school, everything like that. Now, me personally, I played PlayStation back when it was 2 and 3. I was fine with that. I didn't need nothing more than that.
Right.
But that was the whole thing. He earned it, but he earned it by doing his chores around there and things like that. So he learned that correct.
And you
way
have
of
to
doing
teach
it.
him, because what's happening, we can speak on what J. Cole said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why buy a 65-inch TV because the new 65-inch TV came out when I like my 50-inch TV? He said, why? Why do you not do that? Because next year they're going to come out with a 75-inch. And you're going to need that one too. And then the year after that, they're going to come out with an 85-inch. You're going to need that one. And then there's no satisfaction. I like what you said one day we was riding. We was taking home a couple individuals. And you said, like, people will say to you, why you ain't fixing your bike up? You was like, I like my bike the way it is. Yeah. You have to appreciate. I'm learning this humbly. When I pray, I tell God, thank you for just giving me a job that I ain't crying to get up to go to work anymore.
Yes. That's
You gotta
exactly
learn how to humble yourself. Even like with the car situation, you said you can bump your head and get a car. You riding around in that old school Chevy, but that motherfucker run like a champ.
I don't want nothing new.
And you can get something new.
Yeah, I could if I wanted to.
Yeah,
but you gotta learn how to appreciate the shit you have.
Yeah.
You got a $10,000 chain.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Way more than my car.
Yeah, way more than your car. But that's what you learn, how to appreciate shit that you want. You got Gucci glasses on. I got Lens Crafters, $69 for 3 pair. But I'm happy. I can see.
When I was playing football, I bought a set of earrings. It was like 1.5 carats, and a watch that is encrusted with diamonds. You know what that motherfucker is right now?
Gone.
No, it's sitting right on my desk, right there, just showing me exactly
that's
where
your trophy.
I was at.
Yeah, that's your trophy.
That's all it was. And I do exactly like Ocho Cinco says. I don't do nothing but buy cheap, broke, fake shit. You know why? Because you know what? You're going to be out there, you're going to do something, you're going to be dancing, whatever like that. You're going to lose an earring. You ain't going to be hurting if it was only $7.50.
Yeah.
But if it was $37,000.
I don't suggest wearing fake shit.
I do.
Just stay in your.
I do.
Stay in your financial means.
Yeah, stay in your bracket.
My whole thing is that this is the problem that a lot of black people have, especially black men.
For sure.
We want to look like we've already gotten to the end of the race. And that ain't nowhere near.
Yeah, the race never done. The race ain't never done.
Didn't we talk about, I don't know if me and you talked about this at work, or I talked to somebody else about it, but I was talking about, like, people that sell drugs. Mm-hmm. They don't even realize there's niggas right now riding down Ames on 26s, Dunks. The car is worth $75,000, and his mama's on Section 8, and he lives in his mama's basement. That's why you're getting indicted. That's why you're getting indicted, though. Like, we don't even understand the concept of what we're doing to ourselves by buying, like I said, with you got a $10,000 chain on, but you also own your own home. You got 2 or 3 jobs. You doing shit outside of, but there's people out there right now that sell dope that will rather buy a $75,000 car and put a $10,000. I was one of them. And thank God I never got in trouble. But when I hustled, the first thing I wanted was a nice old school car, which I went and got, put some rims on it, subs, TV. And then I was on a budget plan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I didn't have the money to have this $15,000 car that I had. Thank God.
Look at it. Look. You used to be able to, I don't know if you still do it, because I don't really mess around in that realm anymore. But you used to be able to go and get rims on consignment, where you paying a monthly bill for rims.
You probably can.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I ain't going to lie to you about that.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends and Caucasians. Look, this is the Smartest Dumb People. This was a very, very successful show.
Oh, this was awesome. I loved it. I loved it.
Thank you for coming through, Brian. How can they find you? How can they look you up? How can they get the book?
All right. You can buy certain books on Amazon.
Show the book to the world.
All right. Now, this one here is a very special one. This is the one that started my journey. This is also the one that I won Best New Unsigned Author for. And then this was a national, I guess, contest or whatever like that. This is Baby Daddy. Now, I will tell you, guys on the street, you can go to the distributor directly. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be better because Amazon sells them for like $60. You go to lulu.com. That's LULU.com. Put in my name, Bajan Sebastian Williams, and it'll pop up. And that is going to be the best way. Plus, to be honest, that's where I get the most money from.
Did you just hate on a distributor? Kind of in a way?
Amazon, he said, is not paying him. He ain't seen a dime from Amazon, and they boosted his price up, his market price.
So how did they not pay you for shit that's yours?
They pay me, bro. I gotta go and hire somebody to go. And
I wouldn't
like
even say you can get it on Amazon.
Like
well, you can't get it on Amazon. That motherfucker
don't worry
it's
about
invisible
Amazon.
on Amazon. Look, this is Smartest Dumb People. Brian, thank you for coming through, King.
Always,
I appreciate you.
Bro.
You already know Quando Rondo, my guy,
yes, sir.
my
Yes,
high
sir.
school best friend. He's still around.
Worst day of my life.
Yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, yo, what's up? Have you seen the Smartest Dumb People podcast?
Yo, are you dumb?
I'm getting smarter just thinking about it. Politics, sports, your mama, whatever. The Smartest Dumb People podcast cover everything. With Anthony "That Dude" Johnson and special guests, you're about to learn everything you need to know about everything you need to know. Man, I even had to buy a new pair of glasses after watching the show. So yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all do it on Facebook, Instagram. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. So stop wasting your time watching other podcasts. It's the only one you need.
Y'all know what it is. It's the Smartest Dumb People.
Hey, yo, what's up? Have you seen the Smartest Dumb People podcast?
Yo, are you dumb?
I'm getting smarter just thinking about it. Politics,